wishing you would win. Break clouds up above your head, but I see blue skies ahead.
Yes, a touching tribute to my friend Lee Eschliman, who will be joining me here today, just momentarily. Just wanted to say thanks for coming back for another episode of ScraddleVision. I'm surprised anybody would come back after the first episode, but hey, maybe you're a glutton for punishment. Anyway, we have Steve is going to be here today too. Keeping things in line, and let's see if we can get Lee on here. Hold on a second. Lee, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm psyched. Thank you. I'm taken aback by that montage. That was awesome.
So I didn't want to show you it before before we started.
So cool.
Well, glad you liked it.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming and social distancing in the studio. Lee is actually in the drum room over there. I am in the studio room. So he came here, but we've been social distancing. And speaking of social distancing, there's another guy on here. You might remember him from the last episode. You might choose
That's
to
funny
try to
because I don't
forget
remember
him.
me
Oh,
from
there
the
he
last
is. I hear him. Wait, where is he?
I'm
There we
over
go. Hey,
here
Steve.
chilling. Hey.
Steve's joining us from his house in Manayunk. Manayunk.
Yeah.
Steve's our producer. Steve also was kind enough to find a writing staff for us. Why can't I find that now? Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Oh well. Yes, we'll have to show our writing staff next time. Sorry, Steve. But anyway, before we even get into all this, Steve, are you on the chat here? Are you able to get on the chat?
Yes, I've been chatting.
Oh, you've been chatting with people. That's good. Okay.
Well, I said
All right.
hello and then I start talking to you.
Okay. So anyway, Steve's going to be on the Facebook Live chat because it's hard for me to do everything here. So and then later
Right.
we're going to have a little question and answer time with Lee. So if you have any questions for Lee, get them out. Send them to Steve or Phil Collins, as he is probably showing up over on the Facebooks. Yeah. So with that, I think we'll start with. I was going to start with Scotchberg time, but I forgot my Scotchberg glass. So it seems to be a running thing here. So instead of doing that, I'd like to talk to Lee. Lee was the Scotchberg. First of all, isn't just a drink, people. It's a lifestyle. And Lee was the drummer in the band for a really long time. Forever. He was always the drummer, even when it was a two-piece, even when we were the Brown Stripes. Lee was the drummer, and then we turned into Scotchberg. But anyway, Lee, do you have any comments on those days? Or
The beginning of Scotchberg was this basement that we're in, which looked very different than now.
That's true. You were the first person to play drums in this house.
Yeah. Simpler times, good times.
Well, before we get right into the interview with Lee, before we really get into this, I'm just going to play one Scotchberg song, and we're playing this one because it's actually the shortest one. So I've set up a little montage, and then I'll be back with my Scotchberg, and we'll get into this interview. Here we go.
My name is Felipe. I'll come from it down low. Maybe where we go, maybe not. Oh!
Language.
So I think I can say.
I think you know what I just realized.
Uninsured,
I'm
no
not-
license. No, I had to have a license. Uninsured and oh man.
I think I might have had the audio down for a lot of that while we were talking about that when we came back in, but we'll find out. You know, I'm learning this whole broadcasting thing, and
I did not drive that all that much. The door was rusted shut with an accident, like wound.
I remember you would go a lot between. Well, I remember you worked like. Well, you worked with those like gardener dudes. The guy who was like too much a slippery. I won't say the rest of it, but yeah, you definitely dealt with some characters out in San Francisco. And I remember you worked doing yard stuff, but then you also worked at Think Skateboards, drawing skateboards, right?
Yes,
And that place we lived, what was that? 1021 Hudson, or no, it was something Hudson Avenue.
It was Hudson Street, 1385.
Hudson Avenue or Hudson Street. Either way, it doesn't matter. But still, I mean, we lived in that house. I went out to San Francisco for a while, and it was really the first time we recorded together, even though we had known each other since 1991. 1991 is when we first met, Lee.
Yeah.
I came and visited a friend of mine from high school who went to Syracuse, and he was your roommate. And that's the first time we met. And then you got in a band with him in New Jersey and a bunch of other guys, and then moved out to San Francisco. And then that's the next time that you and I hung out together.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to play in the
1991, then to 96. Little gap.
That's right. And then we would play in the basement. And so just as another montage here, I've got one of the songs that we recorded in the basement. It's probably one of the first songs we worked on together, and interspersed with some of your skateboard art and some of the artwork that you drew for Concussion magazine, all skateboard themed comic strips. They were the back of the Concussion magazine, right?
This will be like a time capsule from that time.
Yeah. Is there any stories you'd like to convey from that time period, or?
Well, we rented a studio, and I had a drum set up there, and we played there, and this drum set was in the basement, and we ended up playing in the house more.
That's actually a good point. You know, besides that last track that we played, every single track that we're going to play today has those drums on it. Though I'd like to say my drums, but they're not my drums. They're our drums, right, Steve? Steve wasn't listening. I think he's chatting, but that's okay. And the reason I say it's our drums is because, like, Steve has put tons of time into those drums. Lee has put a ton of time into those drums, and every drummer who kind of comes over leaves the kit a little better than it was. So, that's always a nice thing.
You know what's funny is my old drum set has now been rearranged to align more with this one.
So you don't have to, like, change your brain every time you get behind a drum kit?
Because for the last 18 or 19 years, this
and that
is my drum
let's
set, but
face
it's
it.
not
Let's
mine.
face it. That drum kit is probably like an amalgamation of what I want, what you want, and what Steve wants, because we're the three people who play it the most. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna play this track, and we're gonna look at some more of your artwork. And this track is called "Le Géant Rat." All right, Le Géant Rat.
And that's where we kicked it off.
Yeah,
Mostly.
that was kind of where we started our journey together. That was all keyboards too. That was my Roland HS60, which is really a Juno 106, just with onboard speakers. But anyway, that was Le Géant Rat. You know, Lee, we didn't even talk about Karma Cannon. You know, we talked a little bit about Adrian, but, you know, and I don't have any Karma Cannon pulled up, but, you know, Karma Cannon is another project that Lee and I have worked on together since 2002. In fact, just basically, I have rows and rows and rows of live recordings. It's an improv project. We never write anything. We just get together and start playing. And I don't know, we've mixed down maybe half of the stuff we've done, and there's like maybe 6,000 albums with 9 billion hours of recording that probably only we listen to. But
I see it as fine wine aging in barrels, just waiting.
So I had to bring up a little bit of Karma Cannon. I want to say we've had some shout outs from Sean P. Well, that's got to be from Germany then. Hey, good to hear from you, Sean. Pete, which Pete? I know so many Petes. I'm gonna. You want to tell me which Pete? Well, anyway, to all the Petes, we love you. We love all the Petes. And all the Robs. I don't even know what Rob.
It actually was both Pete's.
Oh, both Petes. Both Petes. I'm assuming that means Shrum and Radikai. But yes. And then...
Radikai Down in the Basement jam. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Also lots of jams with Pete Radikai. But and then let's see. Steve, do we have any questions from the audience yet? Have we had any questions? Oh, looks like Eric Bosek also said hello. What's up, Eric? Miss you, Bosek. We got to get Eric Bosek on here. That dude is a killer instrument guy and singer. Very good. Anyway, where are we at now? Where are we at? Oh, so Steve, were there any questions? Yes? No? Maybe? Is Steve listening to me?
You know what?
Yeah,
Could interject. I've never done this. This is so cool. Look at this.
What's that?
Okay, we have a question. 2 Pete's, what do we eat?
What's the question? Say it again.
2 Pete's, what do we eat?
I couldn't hear that. Lee, could you hear it?
It's a rhyme. To Pete, what do we eat?
To Pete, what do we eat?
Very neat.
Double meat. We always eat double meat. Is that the answer to the
Double
riddle?
meat is the answer.
Double meat is the answer. Ding, 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 ding. I didn't even know I was playing. All right. We have some questions that were pre-written by Steve. So here we go. Lee, what are your top 10 drummers just off the top of your head, not counting Steve?
Okay, so 9
If 10's too much, you can just give us 3 or 4.
or 9. If I went in order from childhood influences to now,
Yeah.
we'd have to go Alex Van Halen,
Okay, stay on the mic, Lee.
Nico McBrain.
Oh.
How do you say it?
I think it's McBrain, isn't it?
McBrain. Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
I don't know.
Then
I know who you mean, though. Nico.
Then, Lars Ulrich. I purchased my drum set to match his in 1988 or 9 in high school, a big influence.
Okay.
But then after that was Primus, Tim Alexander.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Amazing.
All right, I'm going to go on to the next one. Not that I like your answers. I'm just, we got some questions here from Steve. How important are paradiddles?
Personally, they have not been important, but I have recently gotten into them. As a matter of fact, that's an interesting question because they have come up just recently, but up until about a month ago, no paradiddles,
Do
None.
you double paradiddle?
nothing, no.
You just got on the drums and were awesome, and that was it.
Well,
My opinion. Let's see.
which I value.
Thank you. On a scale from 9 to 10, how frustrated are you with Recording Club for not releasing their album with your artwork on it?
You know,
You got to remember these are questions from Steve, so
okay, yeah,
you know they're all like focused around Steve.
You know, I know how long things take.
There you go.
So
That's a good answer, Lee.
not
That is a good
frustrated.
answer. It's an excellent
Why
answer.
do they take so long? Everything.
And what about all the
Everything takes
unfinished
3
projects
times
we
longer
have?
than you
Lee?
wanted.
I mean, come on. Let's
And
see.
yet
I'm just going to ask
unstarted
one more.
projects.
I'm going to just ask one more from Steve, and then I'm going to go on with the show here. What is Lee short for? Lee. I thought that was funny. Maybe it looked better in Google Docs than it translates.
You need the squiggly underneath it.
I think that might be the case, but it's
All right.
It's-
Well,
short for Legion. Duh.
all right. I think it's time to start talking about Nightcap Chronicles, or I'm sorry, Nightcap Sessions. Sorry.
This was a project done here with you on this drum set in this basement again, as for the last 18 years most have
Why
been.
don't you first of all, Lee, can you pull the mic up a little bit closer to you, and why don't you tell everybody what your goal was with Nightcap Sessions?
It had been in the back of my head for the longest time. Well, I could record something and send it to someone, and they could record over it. Nothing new, but to me it was new. Like I didn't know people were already doing that really, because maybe the idea was so old that I don't think I was the first to think of it. I'm sure,
Well,
but I feel like I was.
what I liked is that you released it under a Creative Commons license, where you basically said, "Go ahead and take this, and here's drum tracks. Just put my
Yeah.
name on it. Say I played drums,
Yeah.
and what is the URL if people want to go, if they're looking for drum tracks to play with?
Nightcap Sessions.
.bandcamp.com or something.
.com. Nightcapsessions.com. We'll
Oh,
take
just
you-
go right to the website.
Yeah,
All right,
and
cool.
that'll take you to the Bandcamp page where you enter 0, download 5 tracks for free, and maybe put your riffs over these beats. There are a couple.
Now, Lee didn't. I'm just going to jump in here. Lee didn't just put these drum tracks out. He also put out these song maps that we're now looking at. So you're seeing track 1, Revelry, and we're gonna. It's actually track 2, I think. In the Realm of Monsters. We're gonna check out a couple of tracks by this.
This has been the
with
most
this-
popular, Jay. Not everyone, the 5 people that have worked with it.
They seem to like that track the best.
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting to hear what other people do with it, because the tracks sound so different from one another. Even though you just give basically this map and you say, "Hey, follow this map," and this is basically what these songs are.
Yeah, it's like an infographic to the way it goes. It's got timestamps and the sections called out A, B. Maybe there's a C.
Yeah.
So
here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just gonna play. Since you said that one was which one did you say? In the Realm of Monsters was the track that's been used a lot. I'm going to play a little sample of just the raw track by itself.
okay.
Then I'm going to play 2 different songs that have been recorded over it. And I might not play the whole song. I might just play bits of it. But, I think everybody will get the idea and what you're trying to do here. So let's start with just the original beat. right, so that was a sampling of that. Now you'll hear it's very basic and it's like it's kind of toned down. There's not a lot of effects on it. It's meant to sound exactly like it sounds in the room, because what we've done is we've made a stereo track available to everybody, but then also stems are available on on request. So you can get all of the tracks isolated, and it basically sounds like the drums do in that room by themselves when they're recorded with no effects. But then people have taken this and they take that and they put whatever they want on it. And here's one of those tracks right now. I forget what this one's called, but Lee, this is the one without the vocals. Which one is this?
People have named them slightly differently, like Monsters 300 or Monsters this, or some have.
Do you remember the two you sent me?
Yeah, the first one is from Robin Webb, completely unsolicited, came out of nowhere. Like I never.
Is that the one with the vocals or without the vocals?
Without the vocals.
Okay, that's what we're going to hear right now. Here we go.
A guy in England.
All right, I didn't mean to cut that too short. In fact, I meant to fade it a little bit, but I still don't have a really good. I don't know, not so good with the controls yet. I'm still working on it. But
if anyone's interested in that, there is a SoundCloud page where it has a playlist of what has come back from tracks.
Just speak a little bit more into the mic, please, Lee. Thank you. What is the SoundCloud page?
Nightcap Sessions.
Okay. So now I really like that track. The only reason I cut it short is because I really, really like this other track too. This track has vocals, and you'll hear like what a difference. Like like just the sound. It's the same drum track, but it's a completely different sounding song. And what is this one? Introduce this one, Lee, please.
This is by Mick Swan, guy from the neighborhood. I know. Told him about this, and he came back with this track, and
I love this one. All right, here we go. Let's do this one.
Never wonder who you are. Meditate a moment, look out for. Investigate it, defend an old scar. Doesn't really matter, yeah, it's who you are. Monsters, I think I'm okay. Look around the edges, it's out on display. Take a look around you, around the monsters. Here's how it's done it, in the 34 seconds, could be your fault. From a place of silence, me were on the road. You're the only captain, you have to take it all. Realm of monsters, I think I'm okay. Rough around the edges, it's out on display. Take a look around you, it's a realm of monsters. It's kind of stunning, even unheard. Step back for a second, see through it all. It's a minute or a moment, what an epic fall. So you've shown it, now you own it. Let's collect the day. A picture of a monster is the future say.
Very cool. Very cool. Like that track. Anyway, like, yeah, two very, very different types of tracks, two very, very different types of mixes, and yeah.
And to me, that was a success. Those two tracks came back with the same thing.
Just those two
Completely
tracks,
different.
but, you know,
Well,
they're out there for anybody, you know, that's
yeah.
for in perpetuity.
Maybe someone has a riff. And it
If
fits.
you've got a riff,
Yeah.
you need to get down to Nightcap Sessions.
Sessions.com. Yeah.
Well, and then Nightcap Sessions, like, was the whole idea was like you were going to give this to other people, right? And then wasn't one of these people that you gave it to David Wilson?
It was. He actually
Get on the mic, Lee.
He actually.
I'm sorry, I'm busting your chops here,
No.
but you got to get on the mic. Tell us
You're-
about Neptune Records.
Because you're right. I'm over here. I'm looking at the hi hat and these rototoms, and I'm not used to being on the mic.
Focus, Lee.
So yeah, I actually sent this demo track, which became Revelry from Nightcap Sessions. It was unnamed at the time. I recorded it at R&M Music Studios in Langhorne. I actually sent it to you and David and a bunch of other people. And David came back with this ripping track. It sounded like Bread Fan, and it became Chum, the track, which is
The first track of the Chum album.
yeah, on the album named Chum by Chum. Chum, 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 which is the URL.
Can you move over? What is it? What is it? I can't see the whole logo. What is it? Something of the Seas? The Sounds of the Seas.
Sounds of the Seas.
Sounds of the Seas, Philadelphia.
Yeah. Now, a story. Neptune Records actually existed in the past. It closed, and it was in Philadelphia. It was based, and David found this out, and he said, hey, let's revive this. And I said, yes, let's do it. And we did it. And that's the record. the
Cool.
label for Chum.
I love it. So Chum, now Chum also was like, like David basically put together a whole album of music that he wrote, and then basically put it out there for other people. I mean, like basically, all right, let me make sure I got this right. David put together a whole album based around these drum tracks that you had.
Mm-hmm.
And then he reached out to other people to say, do you want to play tracks over this? And I obviously was one of the people who responded, yes, I'd like to play. And I got to play bass and guitar on the first track, Chum, which was a lot of fun for me. And then you guys recorded a video for it.
That's correct.
And you just said, hey, anybody show up for this video? And, of course, I showed up for the video as well. Can't get rid of me, Lee. But, yeah, so I showed up for the video. And the video shoot was great. I mean, like Dave Rizzio, hello.
Yeah,
You want to
Rizzio
talk about this?
Dave Rizzio was there shooting. He also did a lot of the editing, the majority. James and Jared Cornett were there shooting. David's sister was there shooting.
It was a fun day.
It was fun.
It was a very fun day.
It was recorded at FDR Skate Park, which I don't know how, but no one was there. No one was there.
Yeah, no one
skating.
was
We
there.
had the
There was
place to
very few people
ourselves.
there that day. It was
Yeah,
good.
I came in a little later, but that's rare. Like, so I don't know how that worked out, but it came out. I feel it came out.
Well, Lee,
very cool.
after all of
Should
this
we-
talking,
Hmm.
I've got to play the Chum video. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Chum.
Water. Water is life. Water is power. This cohesive community of strangers can explode in all directions like a golden grenade. It is primitive politics of the underseas world. Many forms of life long ago learned that survival depended on the common strategy of the species. Somebody throw off the jump. The fish swarm about the electrical marvel.
Whoa. I think I might have glitched there for a minute just because I was checking out. I was checking out the live stream on Facebook, and it looks like it cut out completely.
That's a bummer.
I don't know why. It says, sorry, we're having trouble playing this video.
Too much ripping, maybe. Huh.
Let me stop streaming and start streaming. I don't know if we're live anymore, Lee. Hey, Steve, can you check to see if we're live?
Yes.
We're still live?
Yes. Right now they're saying, did we stop streaming?
Oh, okay, because it says, sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. But all right, if we're still playing live.
Oh, wait. I think you are. I'll be back. I'll be back.
I think we're back live now.
I can verify.
Hold on. Lee, I think we're back live now. I think we are. I'm pretty sure, we just had so many requests that we completely crushed the internet. Like it just, all the bits and bytes fell into a chasm, blew up. Like,
Seems to happen often.
yes, this is people see me and you together on the stream, and they go nuts. There must have been millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
Millions and millions. Anyway, we're back live. And we were, if I'm not mistaken, the last thing we did was we watched a Chum video. And now we are going to talk about Lee's new passion. By the way, we're going to talk about Lee's new passion for animation, and then we're going to get into a jam. So that's where we're going.
The passion
but
has always been.
well, I know your passion's always
it's
been
finally
animation,
coming.
but here is one of them.
Yeah.
Here's one of the files you sent me. I love this one.
Yeah.
This is like you're a fish. You're looking up at the sun from down in the sea. That's what I get out of this. Is that what this is?
That's correct. That's the scene. Yeah. Are you a fish? Are you a person? Are you?
Oh, so maybe somebody's just descending down under the sea. You don't know.
This is an animatic test, so this is work in progress. It's new, and it was animated by Jared Cornett.
Okay,
Very
nice.
skilled designer, animator, friend, and my founding partner in our new venture.
What's your new venture, Lee?
Horn of Plenty.
Cool.
Animation.
Well, let's see another one. Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, again, an
Fishy
animatic
guy.
preliminary, just testing the waters, pun intended.
Well, as usual, I love it.
This also features illustrations of mine, and Jared's dad, and my good friend James Cornett. So we're a team, and we want to make cool stuff. To quote James.
Well, I definitely think that's cool stuff. What do you think about doing a little jam?
It's been so long. Let's try. Let's do it.
So I'm gonna have to hold on. I gotta do some. I know this is a pain in the butt, but I gotta actually turn on the drum mics. Hold on a second. Here we go. All of a sudden, there's more noise. And I think the piano's there too, right? Can you hear it?
I hear it. I'm about to turn off the mic.
I know. I think I'm going to go into headphone mode. Why don't we just leave the fish swimming while we jam it out? And this will be the close to the show. I mean, even though, we had to do this in 2 parts, it's not our fault. I mean, I don't know why the live stream stopped, but whatever. 2 parts.
It stopped again.
It
Whatever
stopped
you did,
again. It's the end.
whatever you did.
What did Steve say?
Oh wait, it's back again. Oh wait, it's back again.
I still
We're
can't
good.
hear Steve.
Continue.
all the way.
Continue. Keep going.
All right.
I just want to thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Lee, I had a blast. This has been a lot of fun. Let's just we're just gonna jam, and I gotta get in the headphones and turn this down. Hello, Scrab. You there, my buddy? Hello? Hello. Hello. Yeah. You hear me? I hear you. forget where we came from. We forget who cared for us. Sometimes we wanna forget. Sometimes there's no room for regret. Well, guess what? You don't always get what you need. And guess what? Our country is run by greed. Used to it. We're boot to the neck. Just get used to it. Or boot to the neck. So next time you're standing in line, next time you're standing in Yeah, I started screwing that up. Maybe it's time to just end this jam. Well, it was fun while it lasted. This whole thing was fun while it lasted. Lee, I love you with all of my heart. And this is the end of ScraddleVision. For now.